In today's video I'm sharing my top 7 natural antibacterials for dogs and cats. If you're someone who cares about natural health and wellness for pets, you're in the right place. Let's begin by talking about conventional antibiotics. Sure, they're effective, they work great at killing off bacteria during infections, but here's the downside: antibiotics don't just target harmful bacteria, they also wipe out the beneficial bacteria living in your dog or cat's gut and skin. This disruption in their microbiome can cause side effects like diarrhea, stomach discomfort, and even yeast infections due to the loss of good skin bacteria. That's why it's worth considering safe and natural alternatives. Luckily, there are several natural antibacterial options that have shown promising results, and many of them are backed by research. Take Tula, for example. A few years ago, she got into a scuffle with a raccoon and ended up with scrapes inside her face. I wanted something natural to treat her wounds. The first remedy I reached for colloidal silver. Colloidal silver consists of microscopic silver particles suspended in water. While some in conventional medicine may question it, I've found it safe, especially when used in small controlled amounts. There's even scientific evidence supporting its antibacterial properties. One study found that colloidal silver was effective against both gram-negative and gram-positive bacteria, including some resistant to standard antibiotics. Here's how I used it with Tula. I applied it topically twice a day using a spray directly on the wound. I also administered it orally. For dosing, I gave her 1/4 milliliter, that's about half a dropper per 20 pounds of body weight, twice daily. I continued this for 7 to 10 days. Let's continue with number 2 on our list, coconut oil. It's a fantastic natural antibacterial, especially for pets with skin infections or poor dental health. When applied topically, coconut oil can help fight surface bacteria and soothe irritated skin. It contains lauric acid, a compound shown to have strong antibacterial properties. I recommend applying it directly to the affected area twice a day. It's very safe even if your dog or cat licks it off. You can also use it for oral care. Just rub a small amount on your pet's gums to help reduce harmful mouth bacteria. Now for number 3, garlic. You might have heard never to give garlic to dogs or cats, but here's the thing: in the right dose, garlic can be safe and effective. It has powerful antibacterial properties and has even shown effectiveness against tough infections like Lyme disease caused by Borrelia bacteria. Yes, it's true that garlic can be toxic, but only in very high doses. Let's break it down. For dogs, the lowest toxic dose is around 15 grams per kilogram of body weight. For a 10-kilogram dog like Tula, that's about 150 grams or 50 cloves of garlic. And if we talk garlic tablets, they usually contain 350 milligrams of garlic, so a dog would need to consume over 150 of these tablets to reach the danger zone. Cats are more sensitive, with a toxic threshold of 5 grams per kilogram, but again, this still amounts to eating multiple full cloves when given in small controlled doses. Garlic is incredibly far from those toxic levels. My recommended safe dose: 1/3 tablet per 10 pounds of body weight once daily. When treating an infection, I usually give half a tablet once per day for 10 to 14 days. Number 4 is olive leaf extract, a powerful natural antibacterial that comes from the leaves of the olive tree. It's been successfully used against various conditions, including yeast infections, meningitis, and pneumonia. Let's move on to number 4, olive leaf extract. This powerful natural remedy has been used for centuries and modern research backs it up. In fact, a 2017 study showed olive leaf extract is effective against common food-borne bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella, and it's even shown promise in treating malaria. But here's the thing: high doses can sometimes upset your pet's stomach, so I recommend starting slow and always giving it with food. Each capsule contains 500 milligrams of powdered olive leaf. Begin with 1/8 of a capsule per 20 pounds of body weight per day, and if well tolerated, after 3 to 4 days, increase to the full 1/4 capsule per 20 pounds. If you're treating an infection, such as a urinary tract infection, give this dose twice daily for 10 to 14 days. Now number 5 is one of my absolute favorite remedies: honey. Yes, the same honey you probably have in your kitchen right now. It's incredibly effective as a natural antibacterial. And here's why honey produces hydrogen peroxide, creates an acidic wound environment, and has a high sugar content, all of which stop bacteria from growing. Try this: open a jar of honey that's been in your cupboard for months. You'll notice no mold, no bacteria. That's how resistant it is. In fact, hospitals around the world are using honey to treat MRSA, a bacterial infection that doesn't respond to conventional antibiotics. I apply honey topically to wounds twice a day. It kills bacteria, reduces inflammation, and speeds up healing. Honey can also be given orally, especially for pets with urinary tract infections. Its antimicrobial compounds pass into the bladder, where they help eliminate bacteria. And finally, if your dog has a persistent cough, honey can be incredibly soothing and helpful. Honey doesn't just help wounds and UTIs, it can also help dogs with kennel cough. It soothes irritated airways and may help kill some of the bacteria involved, like Bordetella. If possible, use raw, unpasteurized honey, and even better, go for darker honeys like Manuka, which may have more antibacterial benefits. If your pet has a cough, wound, or bladder infection, raw local honey can make a big difference. Next up, number 6. One of my favorite teas, and one I drink all the time, is green tea. We know it healthy for humans, but it turns out green tea is great for dogs and cats too. It contains many beneficial compounds, especially one called EGCG, which is known for its antioxidant, anti-cancer, and antimicrobial properties. Now, I often get asked, should it be decaffeinated? Not necessarily. Green tea does contain a little caffeine, about 30 milligrams per cup, but the toxic level for pets is much higher. For example, a 10-kilogram dog like Tula would need to consume over 1,400 milligrams of caffeine. That's more than 50 cups of green tea at the low doses we use. It's extremely safe. In fact, I recommend using caffeinated green tea because it usually contains higher levels of EGCG and other beneficial compounds. To use it, steep a green tea bag in 1 cup of water, let it cool for about 20 minutes, then give your pet 1/4 cup per 20 pounds of body weight once or twice daily. For an extra boost, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey into the tea. This green tea and honey combo works especially well for treating urinary tract infections in dogs. I've used it in many cases, and it's often all that's needed. Now, number 7, and honestly this one might be the most powerful of all, is propolis, also called bee glue. It's a sticky resin that honeybees collect from plants and trees. They use it to seal and protect their hives, but it's also loaded with antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and immune-boosting compounds. I've used propolis for years, both for myself and my pets, and I've seen remarkable results. Now let's talk about propolis, also known as bee glue, one of nature's most powerful and underrated antibacterials. Propolis contains a rich mix of compounds like polyphenol resins and waxes, plus some unique ingredients with strong antimicrobial effects. It's been widely studied and found effective against a long list of bacteria, including staph strep and even MRSA, those dangerous antibiotic-resistant strains. It also shown promise against the tuberculosis bacteria, Mycobacterium. What make propolis especially great is that it's broad-spectrum, natural, well-tolerated, and safe for both dogs and cats. People often ask me, if you had to pick just one natural antibacterial for pets, what would it be? My answer: propolis, hands down, especially for anything respiratory related. The suggested dose is 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight daily. For serious infections, start with twice a day, then reduce to once daily. Each capsule is usually 500 milligrams, so for a 20-pound dog, that's about 1/4 to 1/2 a capsule mixed with food. Bonus remedy number 8 is a more traditional one but equally fascinating. It's called tocache, a fermented potato from Peru used by the Incas for centuries. Tocache is made by burying certain potatoes and letting them ferment in cold streams for several weeks. The result is a natural probiotic with strong antibacterial properties. If you're in a place where propolis is hard to find, tocache may be a great alternative for dogs and cats. Use about 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight daily, same as propolis. So are there natural alternatives to antibiotics for pets? Absolutely. Today I've shared my top 8 natural antibacterial for dogs and cats, each of them backed by research and real-world use. There are even more out there, but these are the ones I've personally used and trust the most. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Veterinary secrets. If you haven't already, click up there to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check the link below for a free copy of my book.